When Lord Curzon was the Viceroy of India, he walked this high-altitude trail from Ghat village in Garhwal. This beautiful high-altitude Himalayan trail is now known as the Kuari Pass trek. It is very popular among European and American travellers and a lot of Indian trekking groups as well. There are two ways to get to Kuari Pass, one from Ghat and a shorter route from Oli, which is relatively simple as it gently slopes up over the meadows of Kulara and Gorson. The phalanx of peaks visible from this pass include some of the most important and high-altitude mountains of the Western Himalaya, such as Kamet, Mana, Abhigamin and Trishul. Even the venerable Nanda Devi can be spotted from the lower meadows of Gorson. In spring, the alpine meadows around Kuari Pass light up with a profusion of flowers. As one goes higher, the floral composition constantly changes. In the high-altitude deciduous forests, one can come across many species of ground orchids such as Cypripedium, cordigerum and Calanthe tricarinata. In May, the open slopes of Gorson are carpeted with the brilliant blues of Iris kemaonanensis. Along the same altitude, one can find Podophyllum hexandrum, an important source for a cancer drug. The tree line is defined by a mix of high-altitude birch and various rhododendron species. There are relatively few species of rhododendron in the Western Himalaya compared to the Eastern Himalaya, yet many of the western species can be found on this trek, including arboreum, lepidotum, anthopogon and campanulatum. These meadows are also the spring-summer hunting grounds of Himalayan villagers who come here in search of the elusive Cordyceps sinensis, a fungus that grows out of a moth caterpillar which is collected here and sold in China and elsewhere at a very high cost as a performance-enhancing and rejuvenating medicine. On the morning of 26th of May, we woke up early in Joshimath town and took a shower, the luxury of which wouldn't be available to us for the next 5 days. The distance from Joshimath to Oli is 16 kilometers and we camped at Oli. After lunch, we all went to the Hanuman temple from where we got an amazing view of Nanda Devi. From there, we went in search of the fabled Paeonia emodii, a beautiful Himalayan flower often seen between Joshimath and Oli in the forested zone. After walking the forest for several kilometers, we found a small population of Cypripedium cordigerum, a beautiful and delicate greenish-brown orchid, as well as Calanthe tricarinata, a more flashy yellow and orange species. Unfortunately, we could not find wild peonies. We started our trek from Oli the next morning at 6. The trail mostly led through oak forests and bugyals or meadows. A gradual climb took us to Padiyar temple. After the temple, it was an easy walk over another bugyal. After Gorson, the next 2 kilometers of the trek involved steep climbs and descents, on a narrow path that often had near vertical cliffs on one side and a steep valley on the other. Thereafter, it was downhill all the way to Talli Lake and then to the Talli campsite through a dense forest of oak and rhododendron. We camped there in the middle of a forest for the night. Then the weather changed. First came the hail. Then it started raining lightly. By midnight, it was really coming down. We couldn't sleep that night because of the sound of the torrent of solid and large raindrops hitting the outer coverings of our tents. We stayed up for most of the night, watching the night sky light up with lightning every few seconds, followed by the terrifying boom of thunder. The next morning, 28th May, we began trekking by sunrise and reached Kulara top by 11 am. The view of the peaks from Kulara top was better than that from Gorson. Peaks such as Dunagiri, Hathi and Gauri Parbat, Kamet, Mana and others were clearly visible as the sky was brilliantly clear. Afterwards, we climbed down about 2 kilometers to the Kulara campsite for the night. 29th morning was beautiful and sunny, and we could see a fantastic view of snow-capped Himalayan peaks as we made the final climb towards Kuari Pass. We explored the meadows, looked for flowers and took time lapses of the morning and evening sunlight reflecting off the white snow peaks. By afternoon, we decided to shift our camp to Kuari Pass because the view is far superior from there. Tourists and hikers don't usually camp at Kuari Pass because it is very windy and cold, but we decided to give it a shot, survived to tell the tale and even enjoyed 2 nights there, those of the 30th and the 31st of May. For distant company, we had groups of shepherds camped out on the meadows with their sheep and Himalayan sheepdogs, whom we befriended. We had one who accompanied us for most of the trek, but then abandoned us when he realized we were heading down to the lower hills. After our time at the pass, we backtracked our previous route and reached Oli in 6 hours the same day. To think it took us days to get up there, and the way down was such a rapid descent. The Kuari Pass trek is most certainly one of the most beautiful and exciting treks in Uttarakhand and a must try.